Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to see all of you here. This is a very exciting time of the year. That time of the year where we have commencement, where we look at the outstanding students we have that have completed their academic requirements and graduate. And tonight we recognize the cream of the crop of those outstanding students. This is the largest class of graduates we've had in the history of this university. And I'm excited to welcome all of you here. There are a few people who aren't here yet, but I wanted to start because I always like to start on time. The university made news today, and we picked a new basketball coach. As all of you know, we're going Division I, and we picked Pat Duquette. And Pat was for 13 years at Boston College, and they had a great run at Boston College, and he's been the associate head coach at Northeastern University. And we had a great process. We feel very good about him. I feel good about him because I didn't think he was going to start for a week or two, and he's in the office this morning at 8 o'clock, which I always like to see. Is Pat here? Please welcome. Is he here? Hopefully he's recruiting somebody for next year. I see Dana. I can tell from Dana's. Okay, great. Here's a new coach right here. Please welcome Pat Duquette. Pat, why don't you come up and say hello? Pat, I mentioned I thought you were going to start in a couple of weeks, and this morning you were in the office at 8 o'clock. Please welcome our new head basketball coach.
Didn't know I was supposed to be at the scorer's table ready to check in. I'm thrilled. I'm excited, as you can imagine. This basketball business, a very competitive business. Not a lot of jobs, plenty of qualified applicants. So I'm blessed to have an opportunity to be the head coach. I'm especially blessed to be able to do that here at UMass-Lowell. I'm no dummy. I took a walk around campus. I can see what's going on around here. You've got great things going on. I was really, really impressed, not just with the buildings that are being erected, with the people that I met, SAT scores, rankings. Everything's on the rise here, and I'm just happy and super excited to be a part of it. It didn't take me long after meeting with Dana and Pete Casey to realize how much support was here, and I didn't really know too much going into it about the transition from Division II to Division I. But after meeting with them, I realized that they had been preparing for a long time, and they know exactly where we need to go, what we need to do, and how we're going to get there. And that was very comforting for me. I don't have to form my plan for this transition. It's clearly our plan, and I've got a lot of support and a lot of help. And I realized that after meeting with Dana and Peter. Our athletic department, well, I should say your athletic department, it's not in good hands. It's in really, really good hands. So you can feel good about that. I'm young. I think that's a good thing. I don't have a lot of head coaching experience. I've had a lot of great mentors, a lot of great experiences at Boston College and Northeastern. I'm going to rely heavily on those mentors and those experiences. I've coached some great players, a few of which are in the NBA right now. Those experiences and those mentors are going to serve me well, and I'm going to rely heavily on them to help us build a similar successful program here at UMass-Lowell. I also have one other thing I think working in my favor, and every day when I come to work, I've got a very good example every day running this school of somebody who can show me how to run a program. If I can run my program as well as Marty Meehan runs a school and is with as much vision and passion, we're going to do great things. And I feel strongly about that. We've got great leadership right from the top. The last thing I think I would say is you're going to have a great basketball program, one you can be proud of. It's going to take a little bit of time, so I'd ask for a little bit of patience. But you're also going to have some very committed student athletes. I'm a proud son of a public school teacher who put 5 of his children through college, picked up a paintbrush on the side to help paint for it, and he taught me early on the importance of education. I think that's the greatest gift you can give any young kid, and I make that promise to my incoming recruits. I'm going to make that promise to the faculty here, to you, the alumni, to the administration. You won't find a coach who's more committed to his student-athlete's education than me, I promise you that. So with that being said, again, I want to thank you, tell you how thrilled I am. Let's get ready to work. Today was a great day. I think, Dana, I may have even scrapped my 5-year plan that I presented to you in the recruiting pitch. I think my new plan is just to take today and realize as much fun and joy and excitement as I had today and try and do that every day. And if I do that and focus on that, we're going to have a lot of success here at UMass-Lowell, and we're going to have a basketball team that you can be proud of. Thank you very much, and let's go Riverhawks.
Thanks, Pat. Thanks, Pat. Thank you very much, Coach. So I sat in on the interview, and one of the questions was, well, Coach, you've been in 2 great programs under 2 great coaches, but you've never been a head coach at Division I. He looked over at me and he said, well, I think Marty's doing a good job. He was never a chancellor before. The guy got hired. But in any event, I want to welcome all of you to the 2013 Commencement Eve celebration. And this is the awards portion part of the program. And it is a privilege for me to welcome all of you to the UMass-Lowell Inn and Conference Center on this exciting evening. And we're here to celebrate the accomplishments of our talented graduating seniors, as well as our honorary degree recipients and distinguished alumni. I'm pleased to honor our most accomplished students tonight. A select few of the class of 2013 have gone far and above and beyond achieving special distinction by virtue of their academic, community, and university service, as well as athletic achievements. Now, you can read about them in detail in your program book, and I hope during the course of the night that you make it a point to go up and say hello to them, to speak to them, congratulate them on the remarkable accomplishments. And again, it's in the program. It's also posted throughout the Inn and Conference Center. Now I would like to ask the Executive Vice Chancellor Jackie Maloney to come up and present the Chancellor's Medal for Academic Achievement Award winners. Jackie?
Thank you, Chancellor. What a great evening to be here to see so many of our good friends, supporters, advocates, alumni of this university back. Congratulations to the honorary degree recipients, our distinguished alum, and my good friend Bernie Shapiro, and to the students this evening. And thank you all for coming out to support the university. We'll begin with the Chancellor's Medal for Distinguished Academic Achievement. Would the award winners please come and join me on the stage? The Chancellor's Medal for Distinguished Academic Achievement is presented to a student in each undergraduate division who has attained the highest cumulative average of the baccalaureate study. This year, there are 11 recipients, 7 who are with us tonight. Ashley Anthony. Just the 2 of you. Yeah. James Demento. Carolyn Forte. Eric Kehoe. Jenna Montgomery. Indira Prasan Hulaman. Owen Welsh. Congratulations, everyone. And now I would like to invite the Chancellor's Medal for Student Service Award winners to join us here at the stage. The Chancellor's Medals for Student Service are awarded upon the recommendation of members of the university community to as many as 6 graduating seniors who have made outstanding contributions to the university. In addition to coursework, and in most cases, heavy lifting jobs, these students stand out among their graduating class as active leaders within the UMass-Lowell community. Members of the class of 2013 who have been chosen for this award are Rudy Baez, Brian Dano, Gianni Falzoni, Vanessa Kent. Congratulations. Eric Peary. Jemima Abankwa. Congratulations, everyone. And now will the recipients of the University Medal for Community Service Award winners please join us at the stage. The University Medal for Community Service is awarded to members of the university community who have made significant contributions to the public good. This year's recipients are Justin Kopek, Jeffrey Career, See, we really have our graduates ready for work, right? They even get lessons on posing. Congratulations, Jeffrey. Jessica Lynch. And Erin Webster. Congratulations again to all of our student award recipients. You make us very proud.
Thank you very much, Jackie. Jackie actually, you couldn't tell, but Jackie actually presented Ahmed Abdallah, the provost, is a little late getting here. We wanted to start on time, and the basketball coach didn't talk long enough, so he's not here yet. So Jackie did both. And I just want to say nobody could tell Jackie. They would never know if I hadn't mentioned it. At this time, I want to ask our athletic director, Dana Skinner, to join me on stage to announce the University Scholar Athlete Awards. And also, I want to take this moment to say Dana headed up our effort to go Division I in athletics. And we really did it primarily to enhance the academic reputation of this institution. And he did a fabulous job, and I just want to acknowledge Dana Skinner for his work on that. Dana?
Thank you. Thank you, Marty. Good evening, everybody. Will the University Scholar Athlete Award winner please join me on stage, please? The University Scholar Athlete Award is presented to an athlete who has attained the highest cumulative grade point average among students who have participated in varsity intercollegiate athletics at the university for 4 years. This year's recipient is a member of the women's soccer team, Gia Maureen O'Connor. I didn't know your middle name. I'm glad to know that tonight. Gia Maureen O'Connor majored in exercise physiology. She had a 3.88 grade point average. Would you please join me in congratulating Gia for her outstanding academic and athletic achievement?
Each year, there's an award, a Trustees Key Award, that is presented. The chairman of the University of Massachusetts Board of Trustees is on his way from Springfield, so he's not here yet. However, we have an outstanding replacement. He is a former chairman of the board, a graduate of the University of Massachusetts-Lowell. Our business school is named the Robert Manning Business School because of his generosity to this university in establishing a $6 million scholarship for our students. Please welcome the former chairman of the board, Rob Manning.
Thanks, Rob. This award means so much to me, not only because I was on the board of trustees, but because I went to this institution, which changed my life. It's the Trustees Key Award that designates the students that have achieved a 4.0 CUME during their time here. Now, that's impressive, but I have to tell you, I never even got anywhere near close to that. So this is just quite a remarkable accomplishment. This award has been made 18 times since it was authorized 24 years ago by the Board of Trustees here at the University of Lowell. And the two students that have won it this year are James Demento, who went to the Manning School of Business, and Owen Welsh, who majored in mathematics. Please have them come on up and congratulate them for this accomplishment. Thank you very much, Chairman Thomas. I mean Rob.
The Chancellor's Medal of Recognition is the highest non-academic award presented at the University of Massachusetts-Lowell, and it is presented at commencement. For the first time, a student is going to get this award. This medal recognizes visionaries who have contributed and supported students, have elevated the standing of the university, as well as inspired our university community and the community around us and the quality of life of others. This year, it's my honor to present the Chancellor's Medal of Recognition to one of our outstanding student athletes. Not only has he been a leader, leading and the captain of our hockey team, but he shows leadership skills in everything that he does. His work in the community, his work with other students, the way he instills leadership skills and makes everyone around him a better person. You'll hear more about him this morning, but I did want to ask him to come up. Please welcome Riley Wetmore, a member of the men's hockey team and the captain. You don't get that till tomorrow, Riley. So congratulations to our student award winners. You are the very best and brightest that this university is graduating, and you should all be very, very proud of your accomplishments. I know that someone who graduates from this university has the potential to do whatever you set out to do with your lives. And I know that because I graduated from here. You are the best that we have. And I just want to say how honored I am to be the chancellor at this university with such outstanding students. So thank you very much for all you do. At this time, I would like to recognize the university's distinguished alumni and honorary degree recipients for 2013. Individuals are selected for these awards based on their significant contribution to a field of knowledge and/or has provided exemplary service to the public. You may find the full biographies on all of our degree recipients in your program book, and I hope you'll take the time to learn more about these amazing men and women. This year, we are honoring 2 alums for their commendable dedication to the University of Massachusetts-Lowell. Our first distinguished alumnus is Professor Emeritus Bernie Shapiro, class of 1956. Bernie retired in 1996 after 34 years as a professor in the College of Sciences and worked until recently to advise students in the continuing education department. Over the years, Bernie has directly impacted the lives of thousands of students. As a faculty member, as a fraternity advisor for DK, and throughout generous scholarship support, Bernie has given back to this institution. Bernie, you are truly invested in the university and its success, and we sincerely thank you for all you have done. We congratulate you and recognize Bernie Shapiro. Bernie will get his award tomorrow. Our next distinguished alum is being recognized posthumously. Gary Musica, class of 1971, was a visiting professor for the Manning School of Business, the director of its graduate program, and the head coach for the UMass-Lowell men's golf team. Gary passed away on July 3rd, 2012. He was an outstanding human being. And I have to tell you, going Division I would have made Gary so happy. We are honored to have his wife Sally and brother Bill with us tonight, and we would like them to stand to be recognized. We're truly honored that you're carrying on Gary's legacy at the University of Massachusetts-Lowell, and I thank you. This year, we're proud to confer 5 honorary degrees to alumni and friends of the University of Massachusetts-Lowell who have made significant contributions to their field of expertise, to their communities, and to the university. Also, we are delighted that they have agreed to share a conversation with us, to share a little insight into their dedication to UMass-Lowell, their commitment to the greater Lowell community, and to the greater good. As I introduce each honoree, I would ask them to join me by taking a seat on stage. Nancy L. Donahue. Nancy Donahue is a dedicated community volunteer, an active philanthropist here in the Merrimack Valley. She is known throughout this region for her tireless efforts to make this community a better place, a community that now benefits from the many nonprofits that she either co-founded or supported, including the Merrimack Repertory Theater, the Whistler House, and the Greater Lowell Community Foundation. I have to say, Nancy is somebody who always tells it like it is, whether you want to hear it or not. I found Nancy to be, I lived down the street from her, and she would give you advice, whether it was on a very complicated vote before the Congress, whether it was about how you ought to raise your family, where you ought to live, or what you ought to be contributing to. She has made a remarkable difference in this community. And frankly, one of the reasons why the downtown in this community, one of the reasons why we could invest in this building in downtown is the incredible work that Nancy has done. Just look at the Merrimack Repertory Theater as an example, the culture, the difference it makes in this downtown. It's one of the reasons we're able to get more faculty members to move into downtown because of the work that Nancy has done over the years. She and her husband, Richard, have also been great supporters of this university time and time again. They established the Nancy Donahue Endowed Professorship for the Arts, as well as numerous other programs. Please welcome the 2013 honorary degree recipient, Nancy Donahue. Nancy, thank you. A 1981 graduate of the University of Lowell, Mark and his wife, Elisa, have made generous gifts to help current and future students through scholarships and laboratory sponsorship. The new Saab Pedrosa Center for the Portuguese Studies and Culture will connect UMass-Lowell with the Portuguese community, Portuguese culture, both in Lowell and also abroad. And part of our strategic mission of this university is to engage globally, because we know that you cannot produce students that are globally competent unless they're engaged globally. The Saabs have been critical supporters of our efforts. In December of 2012, the university names its new $80 million Mark and Elisa Saab building the Emerging Technologies and Innovation Center as a tribute to the Saabs. They contribute to this community in so many different ways. They contribute in their church. They make a difference for people that don't have the same opportunities or haven't been as successful day in and day out. They also lived in my old neighborhood, and they raised 2 remarkable daughters who have the same commitment to make a difference in their community. And the other thing I love about them is there isn't a decision that's made in that family that Lisa doesn't make. Please welcome the 2013 honorary degree recipients, Mark and Elisa Saab. Harish Honda is a social entrepreneur specializing in providing India's poor with solar energy. Dr. Honda, who obtained a master's degree in renewable energy engineering in 1998 and a doctorate in mechanical engineering with a concentration in energy in 2000. He was inspired to create this company after a trip to the Dominican Republic, where he saw how very poor people used solar energy for lighting. He has a distinguished background, and he is going to be the commencement speaker tomorrow at our graduate commencement. We are proud to honor you. Thank you very much for being here tonight. Now it's my pleasure to introduce one of our renowned faculty members here at UMass-Lowell who will moderate a conversation tonight with our honorees. We are really honored to have his creative talent on our campus, and yes, his celebrity status as a New York Times best-selling author. Andre Dubus III, Associate Professor of English, is the author of 6 books, including the novel House of Sand and Fog that made it into a movie in 2003. The most recent New York Times bestseller, The Garden of Last Days, soon to become a major motion picture starring James Franco. And also Townie, which if you haven't read Townie and you grew up in the Merrimack Valley, you have to read it. It's absolutely fabulous, another New York Times best-selling book. His new book, Dirty Love, is forthcoming this fall. That's right, it's Dirty Love, and it's coming this fall. Ella and I have been married 16 years now. We probably ought to read that book together. We are very, very proud to have Andre on our faculty. He grew up in the Merrimack Valley. He lives in the region, and he's a great inspirational figure to our students from the region, as he is a national and international literary talent. He plays a great role at this university. He's a fabulous teacher, and he adds to the stature. In addition, I think what Andre is most proud of is he was the 2nd recipient of the Nancy Donahue Endowed Professorship in the Arts. Please welcome all of our honorees and Andre Dubus III.
Marty, thank you very much, and congratulations to you all for your well-deserved honor. This is wonderful. And thank you for giving us a peek into your lives a little bit. We thought we'd shake it up and be a little more informal this year. And so I thought I would ask each of you a question, and feel free to get as personal as you feel comfortable being in answering it. Feel free to talk about whatever you want when I throw it at you. I'm going to begin with ladies first with Nancy Donahue. And Nancy, I thought, you may know that the word to inspire comes from the Greek inspiros, which means the breath of the gods. And my God, do they blow through you. And so my question for you is what is it? I mean, you were really renowned for your generosity in this community and beyond, and it's so commendable. What is it that inspires you to give back like this?
Well, I think it started, as most things do, with my parents. My mother and father always, my mother particularly, my father was busy raising a family, earning money to raise a family. But my mother always just went and did things and volunteered here and there. And then after my father retired, he became a member of the Executive Peace Corps, which he called the Executive Paunch Corps, and went to different countries sharing his expertise in his field of engineering. And while there, my mother she was in Greece and she volunteered at a museum there. No, in Greece she volunteered with a blind girl teaching her English, and then in the Philippines she was with the museum putting artifacts together. So as you're growing up, and I was busy at the time with my family, so I didn't pay much attention, but you get it by osmosis, and I think it just comes through. So at an early age, I just started volunteering in the hospital, and then in the World War II, I was a Victory Farmerette.
What's a Victory Farmerette?
Well, we lived in an old clubhouse, and we took the place of the guys who were off fighting, and we were helping the farmers, with their crops. So
wonderful! So you were actually feeding the rest of us while they were fighting.
Yes, it was. I'm
Wonderful.
very impressed with that, aren't you?
I am. And how old were you when you started to volunteer before the war? Were you a teenager?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
I was a teenager. Yeah, at the hospital, hospital volunteer, that type of thing. So it just continued throughout my life. And then another funny volunteer thing, these are kind of anecdotal, but
Those are
was
good.
in the Korean War. I was working in Boston, and I volunteered, this is a riot, to spot planes on top of the Hancock Tower. Now, what plane would come across? I don't know.
Were you standing on top of the Hancock Tower?
I was up in the tower, and we had the schedule of planes that were supposed to be there, and if they weren't there, we had to,
Breath of the gods.
And then I came and got married, and of course you're involved with kids. My 11 kids, who are marvelous.
Did she say 11 kids?
And my many grandchildren, most of whom are here tonight. And they're really my greatest accomplishment. I was bringing up 11 terrific kids who married terrific men and women whom I love dearly, and together they've raised marvelous grandchildren. So that's the cap of
My God, that
career.
alone, 11 children. God bless you. Wonderful. Great. Well, Mark and Lisa, you know, you've been so successful and so generous with your success with Advanced Polymers, and I was wondering about the role of mentors, and you know, some of us are lucky to get some, and I don't know if you had some or not, but if you did, Mark or Lisa, either one of you can answer this. If you had one, what lesson or how did he or she possibly help you in getting where you are today?
I'll answer.
Okay.
Yeah,
She makes the decisions, you answer?
I'll do the talking, but in the end, she'll make the call. I've had two mentors, one at each of the two jobs I had before Lisa and I started Advanced Polymers, but my biggest mentor was a gentleman by the name of Carl Heffelfinger, who in the second job I had, where I learned the medical device industry at USCI, he was a retired research scientist from DuPont, and I was just very fortunate. I had a chance meeting. I met him at a meeting at DuPont just before he retired. I sat with him at lunch because I knew he was a really smart guy, and I wanted to ask him a few questions. And then I asked him what he was doing and if I could call him up. And we ended up hiring him as a consultant at USCI Bard. And he really became my mentor and really pushed me. We were developing all new medical device technology at the time, and he just pushed me and taught me how to solve problems and really pushed me way beyond what my supervisors and managers expected of me at Bard. So he put a lot of pressure on me to kind of go above and beyond and think problems through and spend a lot more time. His famous words were always, he'd say, you know, I would tell him, well, you know, we're not going to have time to get this done in the next couple of weeks. And he would say, well, why not? And I would run down the list of things, and he would say, well, you know, there's 168 hours in the week. You only need to sleep about 40 or 50 of them, so you have plenty of time to get this work done. And he really also, when I had the idea to start Advanced Polymers, I ran the idea by him, and he thought it was a great idea, and he helped me for about a year and a half to try to convince Lisa to let me go ahead and start the business, and he really encouraged me to do it, and without his support, knowing that his background, his knowledge, that he believed that I could do it and that the idea would work, I probably would. I know I wouldn't have started the business. I wouldn't have learned what I had learned. So I think it's extremely important that everybody, you know, especially any students out of school, you know, you find a mentor, find somebody that is really strong, either technically or business, and really learn from them and take their advice, and it will help you. You can save yourself years of experience by tapping into their experience.
But you know, Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds as if you're saying that he saw something in you that you hadn't quite seen in yourself yet, which was this potential for even more work, even more achievement, even more innovation, even more adherence to a project. It sounds like he saw that you could do it, then he held his bar and he made you go there.
Right. That's
Would you
true.
say that's true?
True. Very true. He was. It was amazing because he was very focused on you know, solving problems, and he wasn't worried. He said, you know, stop worrying about all of these other things and just, you know, if you solve this problem, you get this done. And then I'd say, well, what about this? You'll figure that out.
Nice.
And that's what he would always say. You'll figure that out. You know, solve the problem first. You know, don't worry about everything else. You know, otherwise you won't get anywhere.
And you did figure it out.
Figured it out.
That's wonderful.
Oh, we figured it out together.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. That's great. Harish, what a phenomenal thing you're accomplishing in India with solar energy. And frankly, we need about 5 million more of these on the planet to save our very planet, I have to just say. I'm curious if you can look back on your time here or elsewhere. Was there any particular lesson or experience or class you took that concretely really helped you prepare for your career today?
I think, thanks for inviting me here. I think more than the class, I think it was the sessions with Professor Jose Martin and Professor John Duffy. Because I joined the solar and nuclear engineering classically. You had in this whole class Democrats and Republicans, right? I mean, and it was Professor Martin and Professor John Duffy who pushed me in terms of the discussions with them about what sustainability was. And this was in 90. I mean, in 1990, when the world was actually not looking at any form of sustainability. This was the only university in the country, in the United States, that actually had a program called Center for Sustainable Energy.
Seriously?
Yes. When Dukakis was the governor of Massachusetts and he created the solar program in Lincoln Labs, UMass was visionary in Lowell was visionary to take it actually and bring it here and then created the Center for Sustainable Energy. No other, and I think the way, and the first paper on rural electrification using solar energy was written in UMass-Lowell in 1984.
We just have to applaud that.
Right. And that, for me, in terms of having discussions with the writers and thinkers, like Professor John Duffy, I'm not sure whether he's here, I'm sure he's going to be here tomorrow, and Professor Jose Martin, well, changed the thought process of, about what sustainability was. It was not about technology. It was the combination of technology, finance, the social infrastructure that needs to be built if you had to remove poverty from this world. And that, for me, was a big change. And if you look at my, whatever it's written in the bio, I came into UMass in 1990. And if you see my degrees is 98 and 2000. It's not that I took 10 years. But I left for my fieldwork and Celco started, and both of those professors, and Professor, especially John Duffy, actually pushed, are you at all going to finish? Because I was not coming out of the rural areas in India and Sri Lanka. Are you going to finish it or not? You've defended, you've done all the coursework, but you're not writing your final chapters. That was written actually by my wife who's sitting here. And that's how I got my degree in 98 and 2000.
That's fantastic. Thank you. Just a quick follow-up. So no one was, in 1990, you talk about the role, the absolute pioneering role of UMass-Lowell in sustainability discussions. No one was talking about the phrase global warming yet either.
No, global warming, in a global warming plus, today what the whole world is talking about, whether any university in the world is talking about global warming, climate change, Arctic, but not realizing that poverty is the greatest threat to global warming. Because as you have more and more people getting into poverty, you cannot tell a poor person not to use kerosene and not to cut wood. Because that's the only form of lighting and the only form of cooking. Right? You don't have a choice. The poor don't have a choice until the educated masses in the world. I'm now differentiating not between the developed and the developing countries. I'm differentiating between the rich and the poor. If you look at inner city Chicago, the poor actually pay 30% more on energy than in Manhattan. So the poor, it's the divide in the world, the poor versus the rich, that inequality is going to be a contributor to global warming. And that thought process was in UMass in 1990, which is a much higher level than just global warming.
Harish, thank you. That's so important. Thank you. Lisa and/or Mark, why UMass-Lowell? Why support the University of Massachusetts Lowell?
Well, I graduated in '81 in plastics, and I really never thought, about supporting the university. At that time, I thought, well, it's a state school, the state pays for everything, and never really gave it much thought until after I started Advanced Polymers. Bob Malloy became chairman of the plastics engineering department, and I had, Bob and I were students together back when I was in school, and he asked me to join the advisory group, and it was there that I learned that really the state funds a very small part of everything we do at the university, so much so that we couldn't, we really couldn't upgrade the labs and so forth. And so the first time I gave anything significant other than, responding to the phone calls you get from the students calling for funds was upgrading the lab. So we started a program in the plastics department under Bob's direction to start redoing the laboratories. And so that was the first time Lisa and I donated, was to upgrade one of the physical testing labs. And it was one of the smallest donations we've given, but it meant a lot to me because as a student in those labs, that was a big part of my education, was learning in those laboratories, and having nicer labs and better equipment, state-of-the-art equipment, is critical to the students getting a great education. So that was really the beginning. And then, when Marty came aboard here, and really this place started to move at a totally different pace, accelerated pace, it became clear to us that we really needed to give back. And Lisa, immigrated here from the Azores, and in a country where most people had a fourth grade education, and she was the first person in her family to graduate high school, and
Wow.
we thought, we always wanted our kids to have a great education, and Lisa really pushed me to, get involved with the university. Again, once we understood the economics of what was going on here, and we live in Lowell, so it's in our backyard, and we've always been involved in other community efforts, so giving back to the university just made a lot of sense to me. And I looked at our success, and if it wasn't for the education I had in plastics here, there's no way I would have ever been able to start the business that I started. I would have never had the knowledge to do that, and so that was special. And I had also had fantastic professors here at the university in the plastics department, and I think that's another key that we don't really talk about enough here, is how good the teachers are. When I was here, the buildings weren't nice, and the labs they weren't nice. I mean, they were old, but we had great teachers, and that made a big, big difference. And so we need to make sure we keep that, because a lot of the professors that taught me are actually retiring now in the department, and if we don't have state-of-the-art facilities and good equipment or great equipment, we're not going to be able to attract those great teachers and for the future.
Thank you, Mark. This is very inspiring to me, because what I'm hearing is that this is a loyalty born out of sincere gratitude to the place you came from. And that's a wonderful segue to the final question I'll ask you all, which has to do with honoring our students here tonight. This university is about only one thing, really, and it's those students. If any of you were asked to give any sort of helpful piece of advice, a tip, a message of wisdom of any kind to our students, what would it be? And I'll begin with you, Nancy. What would that be?
Well, I'd start off by saying be yourself, because you're pretty special already. So don't try to be anyone else or be like anyone else. Just be yourself. And keep all your doors open to new ideas, thoughts, people. Always keep a smile on your face. It helps a lot. And I guess basically just the old do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Just look at people and realize all of us put our pants on one leg at a time. We're not so different. And go with your passion. You have to have passion. I think you have the passion, and Mark certainly does, and I do for what I do. And I think that's crucial. So find your passion and what you love and go with it.
Thank you. That's wonderful. Harish, how about you, Doctor? How about you? What would you say to a young student graduating or someone who's in class now?
I would say two things now. One is, yes, follow your heart, not your mind, irrespective of what people say. I mean, look at what the mind has done, the Wall Street or the Bombay Stock Exchange. Look at the financial crisis in the world. If it was by heart, it wouldn't have happened.
That's right.
And secondly, I would say you're young. This is the time. You really don't have much responsibilities in life. This is the time to travel. Look at the world. Because when UMass-Lowell says you're world ready, now look at what the world is. This is where you set your opinions. This is where you actually are a representative of this university. I tell you my own example, where I don't know if you knew the former head of of MIT's energy initiative, Ernest Moniz, who is now become the Energy Secretary of the United States. He once said, he called me up and said, "I wish you were from MIT." I said, "Ernie, if I was in MIT, I wouldn't have done the work I'm actually doing. It's UMass who changed my perspective. MIT, I would have just been another." And so Ernie actually still remembered that and sent me an email, kind enough email, the day he got appointed as the secretary, that I will remember that you're from UMass-Lowell. So I think just be yourself, as she said. But follow your passion. This is the time to travel.
Wonderful.
I have to jump in here.
Please do.
Because I have a grandson who is here tonight who graduated from Tufts last year, and he's just taken a gap year, and he's been traveling in Asia for the last year. So he would totally agree with you.
Absolutely.
I went to Texas once. Found some boots. No, that's wonderful advice. Thank you. Thank you, Harish. Mark, what did Lisa tell you to say on this answer?
I don't know if you've all seen that movie, The Butterfly Effect, but I would tell you that as you go ahead in life, watch out for these little things and small opportunities, because there'll be these life-changing events. You'll meet somebody, you'll have a meeting with someone, you'll speak with someone, or you'll get an opportunity to go somewhere or do something, and it'll be those decisions that you make, whether you take advantage of those opportunities or you miss those opportunities, that will make a big difference, and you won't be able to see them because they'll be seemingly insignificant at the time, but then you'll look back and say, like I did with that mentor, if I hadn't have sat next to him at lunch and asked him what he was doing, and he told me he was going to retire, I would have never hired him as a consultant, and I would have never started this business. You know, that one chance meeting.
So be aware
Made a
of when
big
an
difference.
opportunity is in front of you.
Yeah,
Well,
take
there's
advantage of it.
There's a wonderful definition of luck, and it may be ancient Chinese, I don't know, but luck is when preparation and opportunity meet. And you students are prepared now, and so I'm hearing you say, keep an eye out for those opportunities, and don't be afraid to step into them. Well, look, this concludes this portion of the evening. Do any of y'all have any final remarks you'd like to share with us before?
Well, I just want to thank Marty and
Yes.
the trustees for giving me this honor, and Jackie Maloney, who had a lot to do with it, I know. And I have to thank my husband, who, without him, I wouldn't be sitting here either.
Yeah, Richard. Well, I want to thank you all, Harish and Nancy and Lisa and Ann. Lisa and Mark, the Musica family, Bernie. Your leadership, your compassion, your integrity, your dedication, truly lives the mission of excellence for all of us. And we thank you very much for the example you give to our students. Thank you. And I want to say something about these students. My God, are you impressive people?
Yeah.
I wasn't 1/10 the student you are. So the things that are going to happen for you, really, tonight's your night primarily. And a big round of applause for your stellar achievements. It's incredible. Now, and I'd like to invite everyone as we continue our celebration tonight. We're going to welcome our commencement speaker tomorrow, Boston Police Commissioner Edward Davis III, in the ballroom. Thank you all very much. Let's have some fun.